A kaleidoscope is always unique. It has different colors, shapes, and patterns. And when you turn the kaleidoscope, the color, shapes, and pattern change, kind of like life. First, I'm going to tell you about my life when I was in South Korea. I usually wake up at 7 a.m. on weekdays. I brush my teeth, took a shower, had breakfast, and I went to school. School usually ended around 3 to 4 p.m. And after that, I went to academies like other students did. In South Korea, the education is such a big priority that almost all students go to academies. So I had to go there as well. For you to understand, the academies is tutoring in South Korea. So after the academies were done, I had to do my school and academies homework. In fact, I was really busy, but it was natural rather than hard, because everyone was living through the same routine. When I knew that I was going to move to Singapore a few months later, I was very excited that I could study in a new school and a new country. So I researched a lot about my school. Also, I've never been in an international school before, and among my friends, I was very envious of those who went to international schools. Because even though English our second language, it was cool to learn and study everything in English. Therefore, I thought studying abroad would be a big challenge for me, and I was very excited and had high expectations. However, when I came to Singapore, it was completely different from what I expected. The first thing was language. Of course, I knew that I would use English in Singapore, and I studied hard, but I was very confused when I had to use English naturally on the spot. In fact, the way I studied English in South Korea and the way I learned it here were so different that I felt depressed, because I felt like studying in vain. This is because English conversation is not that important in South Korea. So listening, reading, and learning vocabulary were more important, and that seemed to have been more difficult for me to speak here. So I was always nervous about who would talk to me, and I could only tell after thinking about what to say for several times in my head. Also, there are so many friends who are really good at English, and of course, I kept comparing myself to them. Therefore, my personality changed, being timid and shy. The most memorable situation was when I realized that I was so different from when I was in South Korea. I was talking with my Korean friends, and I was smiling as I was confident to speak in Korean with Korean friends. While I was talking, one classmate saw me and was surprised at my smile. She said that it was the first time that she saw me smile, and it really shocked me. However, it was not like me, because I was always bright, confident, and active in everything in South Korea. Outside of school, I came to Singapore with my mother and sister, and they came primarily because of me. Also, since my mother was not fluent in English and my sister was still adapting, I had to lead them. Due to this, I felt like I had to be responsible for communication for my family. As I put my experience into a kaleidoscope at the moment, they'll be only timid, shy, and lack of confidence, as you can see on my screen. At a time when I was in a situation like this, there are some students who are helping me. The thing that impressed me a lot was they're participating not in their studies, but also in other activities. And they're being nice to everyone. What I mean is, while they're doing their work, they're helping other students. And I got the help from them as well. They were the first motivation that I got, so I could change. The most important thing was, since I had a different personality here, I was living as I was known myself. And I was very frustrated with myself because of that. I didn't think that I could maintain this appearance for a long time, because it was the opposite of my original self. And even if I was later embarrassed, I decided to face the situation. The first thing that I did was, I expressed that I was having a tough time to teach around me and ask for help. Because even though I wanted to improve, it was too much for me to solving alone without any help. When I talked to her, it was really helpful to know that there was someone who listened to me and supported me, even though I was not fluent in English. Also, I cried a lot while talking about the thing that I had a hard time doing alone. She mustn't be surprised because I've never expressed even my small feeling towards her. However, throughout this, I felt like I was relieved on my burden by talking along with my teacher, and it was the best way to receive help. She said that I was not alone, but also my friends had the same experience, and she heard a lot about students as well. Therefore, as she supported me, I got some confidence from her. After that, I applied to as many clubs as I could, since it was the only way that I could take opportunities right away. Some clubs were Student Voice, Peer Mentor, Grade 8 to Grade 9 Transgender Club, Girl Club, and Knitting Club. For Student Voice, which is our student council, even though there was an interview, I thought that it was very meaningful that I could help students in school. I want to be a bridge between SVP, which is the name of ESL in our school, and mainstream students. Also, I got the chance to help others through a peer mentor and Grade 8 to Grade 9 Transgender Club, and they encouraged me a lot. After that, I gained confidence, and to my surprise, I was selected to give a speech in front of SVP students at the end of this semester. Looking back, I think I had improved a lot more than before, and now I'm confident to speak outside school as well. Initially, it was really tough for me to adapt to Singapore, and I had many situations that I had to face and overcome. I believed that any experience will allow me to change into a unique person capable of overcoming obstacles, and it was very important to realize the change in myself. Through this experience, I became similar to my old Korean self, but not quite. If I were to look through my classroom now, I'm proud to say that my pattern would be completely different from anyone here and in South Korea. I know that there and will be foreign students who will face similar situations as I did. However, I encourage everyone to take these difficulties as opportunities and experiences to grow into someone you want to be. There will always be someone around you willing to help if you ask. It could be your family, friends, or even your teachers. While it takes a lot of courage, I'm confident that everyone can succeed since I was able to. As Albert Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, while expecting different results. If you don't try to change, you will stay in the same place. For your change, just remember to be passionate and not be afraid to fail. Making mistakes and not giving up only adds experience. Any experience, both positive and negative, will spark growth and change. There is no reason to compare your experience to others. What makes each class club unique is the difference in colors, shapes, and patterns. What will your class club look like? Thank you.